Welcome to lesson 13. This is movie clip 1, the loop stunt. So we're going to create the movie clip that's going to go in here in section 1 that will play when button 1 is clicked. And we're going to make the plane do a little loop. So this is based, a little animation that's kind of a fun animation. It's about an air show. So we're going to have our planes make a few different kinds of stunts. Now I've given you some plane illustrations in here. And the blue plane itself is actually a movie clip because when you click the blue plane, you will see that the propeller actually has an animation. And when I move the playback head back and forth, the propeller animates. So that's why the blue plane itself is a movie clip. Now I'm going to go back here to scene 1 again. We're going to go to insert a symbol, insert a new symbol. We're going to call it that symbol stunt 1 MC, and then we're going to click OK. So we go to insert, new symbol, make this a movie clip, and call this one stunt 1 MC. Stunt 1 movie clip, and then click OK. Now that I'm inside of this new symbol, there are no graphics or illustrations or anything in here. So this is a blank, empty suitcase that we're starting off with. The first thing that I have you do is rename your layer to Classic Tween, because we're going to create a tween animation in that layer. And then we're going to insert a new layer on top of that one called the path layer, because this is going to tween on a guide path. So I'm going to name this one path. We've got classic tween, we've got the guide path that's going to take care of it. So I want us to draw the path first. So we're going to go to make a large loop in the center of the stage, and I would like to use my pencil to do this. Pencil is a nice tool to be able to draw out a path. So I'm going to use the pencil, but this time, now that I've selected my pencil, I want you to see that pencil actually has some controls to it. We want to stay away from this drawing object thing and make sure that's turned off, because I want the raw pencil mark to be on the stage. But if I click the smooth choice with the pencil tool, I will get a much smoother path, and the smoother the path, the better, because that makes for a nice smooth flight for the airplane. So I'm going to go ahead and start my path right here and make a loop, swing it around, cross it, and up. And there's my path. And that's in the path layer. Now, in order for me to see the positioning on the stage and actually see where my plane is going to fly, it's helpful to be able to go back to the scene 1 timeline and then get into the movie clip through the scene 1 timeline so that I can actually see what's going on the stage behind it. So I'll go back to scene 1. And you'll notice that that new movie clip doesn't exist on the scene 1 timeline yet. So go back over here to where it says movie clip in your timeline and choose keyframe 1, and then go into your library and choose stunt 1 MC. You can either grab it here by the plus sign in the graphic display view of the library, or you can grab it down here. It doesn't matter. But you're going to pull that movie clip out onto the stage so that you can see other things behind it. And I also want to make sure that my beginning and ending pieces of the path is actually off stage. And I might also want to just narrow this down a little bit so that there's more room for that plane to take a little loop. Okay, so anyway, here's my movie clip. Now to get back into it, to finish creating the clip and the animation, I'm just going to double click it. And you'll see the stage fade out behind it because I've gone through it. I've opened it up while it's on the stage. I can see all of the illustrations behind it, and that helps me to see how to position my plane. So I'm going to adjust my flight path right here if I need to. I'm going to pull the left end off the stage a little bit more if I need to, and the right end off of the stage a little bit more. I just pulled the right. This is the left. And adjust my path. Okay, now I'm going to decide how long I want my plane to fly. So let's say I make this flight about 80 frames long. I'm going to click Insert, Timeline, and Frame right down here at the end. And then over here in my Classic Tween section, I'm going to go ahead and get a plane. Maybe my blue plane, maybe my brown plane, I don't know. Let's try my blue plane just because it's here. I'm going to take this airplane and pull it off. And the blue plane tends to be a little bit large. So I'm going to just make it smaller, and I'm going to snap the blue plane onto the end of the path here. And I want to make sure that my snapping is turned on so that my plane will actually snap. So I'm going to go to View, and I'm going to go to Snapping. I'm going to go to Edit Snapping and turn on at least these three. And click OK. Now let me try that again. Make sure that it snaps onto the end of the path. There it goes. That's what I wanted to feel. Okay, now I'm going to set up the tween. So I'm going to go to Insert, Timeline, and then a keyframe, and then select the whole thing and go to Insert, the Classic Tween, and I'm going to get this instance of the plane and move it over here and attach it in this ending keyframe. Make sure it's in the ending keyframe over to the end of the path. So, and make sure that it snaps down. So at the beginning keyframe, it's got to be at the beginning of the path. At the ending keyframe, it has to be at the end of the path. And then the last part is to change this into a guide path. So we're going to make this a guide layer, and we're going to make this underneath the guide layer, and then I'm going to test my movie, and my plane is following the path. It's flying backwards, but it's following the path. So let me show you how to fix that backwards flying maneuver. What we're going to do is go into keyframe 1 of the Classic Tween layer, and then where it says Orient to Path, we're going to click that. And what that does is that actually helps the plane to follow the path, and it will fly upside down and fly around. It still may not be perfect, so wherever it's starting to, see, like right here, he's not really starting to, you know, it looks like he's doing a nosedive. So at that point, I'm going to, with my transform tool, click the plane. I may have to insert a keyframe first, and then click my plane and just do a few minor adjustments. One ought to do the trick here. Oh, it's starting to slip right there too. So I'm going to insert a keyframe there and then just adjust it a little bit. You can see that it's so much easier. So now, there he goes. And if I test my movie, I should see it completely orient to the path. But I can go back in and do some minor adjustments as well.